The Forbidden Tree. A long time ago, in a quiet village between the great river Kuu and the tall Niani Mountains, people lived peacefully. They farmed their land, raised animals, told stories around the fire, and helped each other. The sun was warm, the rivers were full, and the land gave them everything they needed. In the middle of the village, there stood a very strange tree. It was taller than any hut, taller even than 3 giraffes standing on top of each other. Its leaves were shiny like silver, and its bark glowed like gold in the sunlight. The tree was called Ntangu, and everyone in the village knew it was a special tree. But this tree was not like other trees. No one was allowed to touch it. No one could climb it, no one could pick its leaves, and most of all, no one was allowed to eat its fruit. Every year, the tree grew only one glowing fruit. It was round, golden, and smelled sweeter than honey. It looked so tasty that even the birds stayed close, watching it with hungry eyes. But the elders of the village always said, "That fruit belongs to the spirits. It is not for us. If anyone eats it, something terrible will happen." So, year after year, the people watched the fruit grow and fall to the ground. When it did, the village priest would bury it in the earth with prayers and songs. But in that same village lived a young boy named Kamau. He was about 14 years old, clever, curious, and full of questions. He often asked his grandmother, "Why can't we eat the fruit? What's so bad about a tree that gives us something so beautiful?" His grandmother would shake her head and say, "Child, some things are not for us to understand. The spirits give us rules for our safety." But Kamau didn't like rules he didn't understand. He wanted to know everything. He thought, "What if the fruit gives me wisdom? What if I can help the village with what I learn?" So one night, when the moon was big and round, and everyone in the village was asleep, Kamau tiptoed out of his hut. He walked quietly to the forbidden tree. The fruit was glowing like a small sun, hanging just above his head. As he reached for it, the wind began to blow through the leaves, and Kamau thought he heard it whisper, "Turn back, Kamau." But he didn't listen. He picked the fruit. He took one bite. And everything changed. The ground shook. The air turned cold. Shadows danced around him. Kamau saw strange visions. He saw people fighting. He saw the river drying up. He saw his own village burning. He saw himself, old and lonely, with no one beside him. He heard loud cries, strange songs, and 1,000 voices shouting at once. His eyes turned wide with fear. He dropped the fruit and fell to the ground. In the morning, the villagers found Kamau lying under the tree. The fruit was gone. The golden leaves of the tree had turned brown. The tree itself had started to dry up, as if it was dying. Kamau was still alive, but something was wrong. He stared at the sky and did not speak. When people talked to him, he only answered with strange riddles like, "The eye that sees too far cannot see its own foot." The elders said, "The boy has seen what was not meant to be seen." From that day on, Kamau never returned to normal. He wandered from place to place, warning others never to break the rules of the spirits. The forbidden tree never grew another fruit. And after a few seasons, it died completely. The villagers planted flowers where the tree once stood, to remember the lesson. And the story was passed down from generation to generation. Some knowledge is too heavy for the human heart. The fruit that shines may light your way or burn you in the end.